what a man was having XY chromosomes. What a woman was having XX chromosomes. That's what I thought they meant. But apparently, the NASPOLs, yeah, right, exactly. Well, apparently, being a man is just keeping your fucking mouth shut. Oh my god. Women, or sorry, trans men, listen up. This is how you become a man, according to Haas.
Anything, without asking anyone of anything, and without making it socially relevant at all in any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if you want to ask me, that's what manhood is.
That's what
manhood is. This. It's when you keep your mouth shut.
Do you want to watch a Haas video, an infrared? It's about Andrew Tate. The real problem with Andrew Tate. Not the fake problem. The real problem of Andrew Tate featuring Haas from Infrared.
If you want to be the number one, if you want to be the very best, like they said in Pokemon, you're going to keep your mouth shut. You're not going to fucking watch influencers. You're not going to fucking watch all these people.
So fucking hairy.
You're going to pursue your path, and you're not going to make it a social thing. Because when you make it a social thing, you're trying to tell the socius, you're trying to tell the social community that you're entitled to it. You're not fucking entitled to being number one. You're not fucking entitled to being as rich as Andrew Tate. You're not fucking entitled to having a Bugatti, right? You're not entitled to a Bugatti. So if you want a fucking Bugatti, you're not going to be getting one by listening to someone like Andrew Tate or anyone else for that matter. You're not going to get one by listening to anyone on the internet that's tailored to a mass audience. You're going to be pursuing your own fucking course of action. You're going to be pursuing your own life according to its own laws and your own experiences. And you're going to do it in silence. And the reason you're going to fucking do it in silence is...
Oh, he didn't want to give away the game that early. He's not wrong. It's not wrong. But he's also not right. He somehow is telling his audience to want a Bugatti. Like, this is a socialist, by the way. Or he claims to be a socialist, a MAGA socialist.
So what we're dealing with here...
I love that chair. I want that chair. This is so gaudy. Like the gold. All the gold. And then the oversized chair that swivels back and forth as he rocks to soothe himself from having launched what's this? Jackson Hinkle's career into stardom. Like this is the original MAGA communist, and his friend just took it and is now taking it to the top because this guy is so fucking unhinged. He could never do what Jackson Hinkle has done. Like he's so fucking unhinged. Hitler was an anarchist? Oh my god! Oh god. That might be a better video to watch. Oh god. Hitler was an anarchist. Like that's a big claim.
If you want to condense this down or break this down into something as simple as possible, you're dealing with a situation where people don't know how to rely on their intuitions anymore. People don't know how to rely on their fucking instincts anymore, and they're looking for answers to fulfill their lives, looking for answers to live their lives from internet influencers and personalities and and aesthetics and fucking guidebooks and manuals, and they actually don't know how to actually have experience. I do think it's a shame because these young, like, you don't understand.
I bet it has a video on it. I might watch it at some point. It sounds amazing. But he just claimed that that people don't listen to their instincts anymore. How is listening to your instincts gonna buy you a Bugatti? How is that gonna help me succeed in the business. It's not instincts that give you good financial success in the business world. That's like instincts can guide you, but you have to do the legwork as well, which is why I will never ever be a fucking millionaire, let alone a billionaire.
Understand what Andrew Tate's talking about until you actually go through the process of, in middle school or high school, have your heart broken or something. It's actually healthy, You got to go through that process, and then it'll teach you how to be, it'll teach you the parameters that you're dealing with in life. I think it's a healthy thing, right? But people who are going to prevent themselves from having those fundamental experiences of getting hurt and understanding, what your limitations. See, this is the critique I'm going to make of Andrew Tate that I've not seen anybody make. Okay, my critique of him. It's not that I think he's misogynist. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Right?
Of course,
my critique is going to be this. I think that since his audience is so young, they don't actually understand what he's saying. Right? So what's going on is that
that's the critique.
They're going to adopt what he's saying as just like a cool aesthetic. And then they're going to apply that to their lives, which is actually going to prevent them from acquiring all of the fundamental experiences that are necessary in order to even validate what he's saying. So basically, they're basically turning...
Wait. Is his critique of Andrew Tate that the message is good, but the audience is wrong? Like if his audience was older, mature, more informed, had more life experience, all the things that Andrew Tate says is gonna be good? Is that his critique?
Andrew Tate into not a replacement.
Yeah. Oh, you're right, Haas. Nobody has made that critique of him because it's fucking stupid.
For their dad, but a replacement for their mom. You have to understand, within Lacan's terms, right? The sphere of the imaginary, in which we look for satisfaction in images and we search for satisfaction in, visual aesthetics, things like that. Images, right? That belongs to the sphere in which the child is attached to the mother, right? The castrative sphere, which is where the father comes in, which is the sphere of the symbolic order, that's going to figure into the child's development when they are forced to confront the fact that they cannot find satisfaction in any image, when the image is inherently lacking and that it's somewhere else and somewhere beyond. And that beyond is the signifier, or Lacan. Yeah, Lacan calls it the signifier.
Lacan. Who the fuck is Lacan? Yeah, I don't know what's happening, Terra Freak. He's talking about some Lacan philosophy. I think he's saying people rely on influence too much for wisdom rather than life experience. And it keeps them from understanding a lot of nuance. Random word generator, yeah. Lorem ipsums. I don't think you're wrong, but he's saying more than that. Let's go Lacan. Who is this Lacan? Was a French, of course, psychoanalyst and psychiatrist described as the most controversial psychoanalyst since Freud. Well, maybe Freud. Lacan gave yearly seminars in Paris from 1953 to 1981 and published papers that were later collected in the book Écrits. His work made a significant impact on continental philosophy and cultural theory in areas such as post-structuralism, critical theory, feminist theory, and film theory, as well as on the practice of psychoanalysis itself. Lacan took up and discussed the whole range of Freudian concepts, emphasizing the philosophical dimension of Freud thoughts. Why did I want to say fraud instead of Freud? Philosophical dimensions of Freud's thought and applying concepts derived from structuralism in linguistics and anthropology to its development in his own work, which he would further augment by employing formulae from predicate logic and topology, taking, okay, just a gobbledygook of return to Freud, blah, blah, blah. I want to see some legacy and criticism. This is important. The four fundamental concepts of psychoanalysis translated into history, David Mitchell described Lacan as the most controversial psychoanalyst since Freud. His ideas had a significant influence on post-structuralist. Well, we read that. In fashionable nonsense, accusing him of superficial erudition. I don't know what erudition is. The quality of having or showing great knowledge of learning and scholarship. Okay, superficial. Oh God, that's scathing for a philosopher to hear. And of abusing scientific concepts that he does not understand, accusing him of producing statements that are not even wrong. However, oh my God, being wrong is perfectly fine within science and philosophy. Being not even wrong, now that is, oh boy. However, the note that they do not want to enter into the debate over the purely psychoanalytic part of Lacan's work. I would dismiss Lacan's work wholesale, called it incoherent system of pseudoscientific gibberish, and quoted linguist Noam Chomsky's opinion that Lacan was an amusing and perfectly self-conscious charlatan. The former Lacanian analyst Dylan Evans, who published a dictionary of Lacan's terms in 1990, I'm starting to understand why Haas liked Lacan. Eventually dismissed Lacanianism as lacking a sound scientific basis and as harming rather than helping patients, and has criticized Lacan's followers for treating his writing as holy writ. Richard Webster has decried what he sees as Lacan's obscurity, arrogance, and resultant cult of Lacan. Others have been more forceful, still describing him as the shrink from hell. Oof. And listing the many associates, from lovers and family to colleagues, patients, and editors, left damaged in his wake. We can see one of them being Haas. Roger Scruton included Lacan in his book Fools, Frauds, and Firebrands, Thinkers of the New Left, and named him as the only fool included in the book, his other targets merely being misguided or frauds. Oh, okay. His type of charismatic authority has been linked to many conflicts among his followers and analytic schools he was involved with. His intellectual style has also come in more criticism. Eclectic in his use of sources, Lacan has been seen as concealing his own thought behind the apparent explication of that of others. This return to Freud, I just want to call him fraud, was called by Malcolm Bowie a complete pattern of dissenting assent to the ideas of Freud. Lacan's argument is conducted on Freud's behalf. Okay, we don't have to see mirror. Okay, we know why Haas likes Lacan. We know
the
why.
master signifier, right? That's the beyond. So there's also the word in the Bible, and they say the word, right? Pretty much dealing with the same
Haas
thing.
is religious.
So that's the problem. Andrew Tate he's being a mother to the youth. He's not being a father. Because what a father has the function of doing is turning men into fathers. A real father turns men into fathers. A real man allows you to become a father yourself. What? If you have someone as just like this aesthetic personality from a distance, you are never going to be that. It's always just going to be this like, oh, I'll never be as cool as Andrew Tate. Yeah, but that,
cool?
This is actually kind of like when Lacan
Andrew
says
Tate?
A woman is just another name for the name of the father. Now, why does he say that? Because When this, in the same way that young people
Like, he's telling his audience, as a socialist, that they should become as Andrew Tate. Now, he's not explicitly saying this, but the words give that impression that Andrew Tate is cool. And that's why we should strive for him. But you can't strive for him by doing what Andrew Tate wants you to do. You have to listen to what Haas is telling you to do.
feel like, oh, I'll never be as cool as Andrew Tate. It's like transcendent, right? It's also like, oh, I'll never be able to date Kim Kardashian. It's like a transcendent ideal that's out there instead of something that like translates into an actual change, an actual effect in your life, right? The only time you can actually have an effect in your life is when you become the Andrew Tate. Only when you become Andrew Tate is there an effect. But you can't become Andrew Tate. Why? Because you're never going to fucking be that rich. You're never going to be that confident. You're not going to be the fucking world champion kickboxer. It's not going to fucking happen. And if it is going to happen, you're not going to search for someone else to like make that true. You're not going to like look at if you want to be the number one, if you want to be the very best, like they said in Pokemon,
yeah,
you're going to keep your mouth shut. You're not going to fucking watch influencers. You're not going to fucking watch all these people. You're going to pursue your path, and you're not going to make it a social thing. Because when you make it a social thing, you're trying to tell the socius, you're trying to tell the social community that you're entitled to it. You're not fucking entitled to being number one. You're not fucking...
Which is why you hear rappers keeping their mouths shut. Nobody in the rap game ever talks about being number one, talking about themselves in the top 5, ever. That never happens. Why would it? Why would they give away the game like that?
Entitled to being as rich as Andrew Tate. You're not fucking entitled to having a...
Andrew Tate isn't entitled to being as rich as Andrew Tate.
Bugatti, right? You're not entitled to a Bugatti. So if you want a fucking Bugatti, you're not going to be getting one by...
Wait. So when I say Bugatti, I'm obviously joking. Does this sound like he's joking when he says Bugatti?
Bugatti.
So Bugatti. He's memed so much, it's become a part of his vocabulary.
Okay, you're not fucking entitled to having a Bugatti, right? You're not entitled to a Bugatti. So if you want a fucking Bugatti...
Just say Bugatti. You can say Bugatti. You don't have to say it in a British accent just because Andrew Tate says it in a British accent.
You're not going to be getting one by listening to someone like Andrew Tate or anyone else for that matter. You're not going to get one by listening to anyone on the internet that's tailored to a mass audience. You're going to be pursuing your own fucking course of action. You're going to be pursuing your own life according to its own laws and your own experiences. And you're going to do it in silence. And the reason you're going to fucking do it in silence is because there's no reason to talk about it because no one else owes you that fucking Bugatti. If you get that fucking Bugatti, that's because of your own effort.
What is he talking about? So keeping it silent because nobody else owes you that Bugatti. Okay. But what am I supposed to keep in silence? That if I say, people assume why is talking about, if that's your goal, wanting a Bugatti? Did I say? Oh my God. Why is that goal having to be in silent? Why? This doesn't mesh. This doesn't connect. There's no red thread connecting these two, except in your paranoid head.
Effort. That's because of what you put in silence, without telling anyone anything, without asking anyone of anything, and without making it socially relevant at all in any capacity whatsoever. And if you want to ask me, that's what manhood is. Manhood is this. It's when you keep your mouth shut. Being a man is not when you're talking. Being a man is when you're not talking. Being a man is when your family's in danger and you act.
So why the fuck are you being such a little bitch right now, Haas? Why are you talking if being a man is keeping your mouth shut? Also, I thought, wait, isn't Haas a raging misogynist and raging transphobe? let's see here. Infrared Haas phobia. Yeah, I mean, just where'd it go? I had it right there. This is a 4-hour long video, so we're not gonna watch it. But I mean, exposing the real fascists, and if we go here, exposing the real, you can see this. I mean, he's not being subtle, is he? So I thought, in my understanding of what Haas, Hinkle, Dorr, all these types, what a man was having XY chromosomes. What a woman was having XX chromosomes. That's what I thought they meant. But apparently, the Nazballs, yeah, right, exactly. Well, apparently, being a man is just keeping your fucking mouth shut. Oh my god. Women, or sorry, trans men, listen up. This is how you become a man, according to Haas.
Anything, without asking anyone of anything, and without making it socially relevant at all in any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah.
And if you want to ask me, that's what manhood is.
That's what
manhood is. This. It's when you keep your mouth shut. Being a man is not when you're talking. Being a man is when you're not talking. Being a man is when your family's in danger and you act. You don't speak, you act. That's what being a man is to me, right?
Yeah.
So
everyone can become a man, according to Haas, as long as you just keep your mouth shut and you act. Which, wait, is being a man a social construct? I thought manhood, being a man, was biological. Oh my god. Thank you, Haas. Thank you for showing me that it's all just social constructions. That this binary that we've constructed in our society is just that, a construction. Thank you so much. Just can I thank you, Haas, for showing me the truth of society and how we've been conditioned to believe that we can only be man or woman. Thank you.
being able to actually, if you want to be the best, if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to be the very best version of you, you have to do it in silence. You can't do it.
What? Oh, this is such a reactionary take, which I wouldn't have expected from someone with such a modern understanding of the gender roles, to come out with such a progressive take, to say things like this. I've watched it with Haas, Destiny, and Fuentes. No, I've actively avoided it. I have watched the one with Haas, Hinkle, Destiny, and Dylan, I believe it was, where it just ended in a scream fest. I've seen the Haas and Destiny aftermath, where they compare their heights, and Haas is like, "Oh, I'm so much taller," and I've seen Destiny call him the, what was it? The Moscow manlet. Yeah, I had quite a laugh during that interaction. But yeah, I can't believe that Haas, such a progressive person, would say something so reactionary like this.
If you want to be the best, if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to be the very best version of you, you have to do it in silence.
You have to do it in silence. No talking, no showing of emotions if you want to be the very best. if you have mental issues, don't go to a psychologist and talk about it. Just shut down. Now I know why he said Bu'adi. It's because he's British. He's British. Stiff upper lip. That's all it's gonna be. Stiff upper lip. I see my hair.
Can't do it by emulating a personality you see on the fucking internet. You have to do it yourself, okay? And then here's the most important thing.
Okay. And again, so emulating famous people you follow, is a normal, completely reasonable thing to do. Oh, I like that behavior. Let me emulate that behavior. I like how they do X. I want to do X. Now, of course, some things you can't just copy paste upon yourself. But some things you can. But he's telling you, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
When it comes to that, okay? The most important thing that you have to take away from this as well is that the grand majority of us are not going to be one. We can't all be number one. We can't all be the very best. We're going to fall somewhere in a hierarchy, right? We're going to fall somewhere in a spectrum.
Spoken like a true
that's not
socialist.
going to be at the very top. 99% of us. You could still be the best version of you, but this is what it means to be a man. First of all, to be a child means you have a guaranteed entitled baseline. That's a child, right? A man's got to make his own life,
Spoken
be
like
the
a
best
socialist.
version of himself, and then end up somewhere on that hierarchy. And you will reach a glass ceiling eventually where you just be like, I gotta retire. I gotta retire it because we don't all live forever, right? And that's what I'm trying to say is that's okay. It's okay that you could just be average, right? You should never be content with being average because the minute you're content is the minute you stop trying to be the best version of yourself, right? But there's no reason to try and think that you have to be number one for its own sake. Usually the people that end up being number one are not the people who think that I in particular deserve to be number one.
Which Trump never did Trump think I deserve to be president. Never did he assume that he was deserving of being number one. Never. I have the best words. I have the best campaign. Nothing can compare to my campaign. Never. Those words would never come out of Donald J. Trump's mouth. Ever. Which is why he's number one.
Because it's me. It's the people who say, I deserve to be number one because I have something to offer that no one else does. And
I can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. It's glorious.
Focus on the content of that. If you're a boxer, you focus on your love of boxing. You focus on your devotion to boxing. You don't focus on what you fucking see in the mirror to become number one. There's nothing about you that's fucking special in and of itself. It's your skill that makes you special. It's the art that makes you special. It's the technique that makes you special. It's not you.
Nobody respects women more than me. Believe me.
You are just like anyone else at the end of the day, right? It's the thing you're doing that you've fallen in love with that makes you want to be number one, right? And if you can't be number one, so be it.
And Elon Musk, never did he exaggerate his own importance. Never did he exaggerate his own worth. Ever. No. He's hunkered down and he's cupped his mouth shut and he's just focused on doing what he does best, making money go.
So be it, but at least you devoted yourself to what you love.
That's why
at least you devoted yourself to being the best version you can be. Not only the best version you can be, but you've devoted yourself to the best way you could fulfill doing the thing you believe in, right?
I mean, seriously. Both Elon Musk and Donald Trump has proven to me beyond a doubt, and should prove to anyone beyond a doubt, that there is no meritocracy. Like, meritocracy is null and void in in at least in America, but by God, if not in the entire West. There is no such thing as a meritocracy. I've done more for African Americans than any other president in American history, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
You fulfilled the best way of doing what you believe in. That's the most important thing in the world. The most important thing in the world isn't even being the best person. It's fulfilling the thing you believe in the best way you can. And if you can do that, you can die happy.
He's not wrong in the ending, at least. At least the ending, like, don't focus on being number one. That won't bring you happiness. Don't focus. People who I just want to be famous, they're never going to be happy in their fame. They're never, that's not going to fulfill them. Focusing on what you want to do, your passion, however, that's going to fulfill you. But it's exceedingly harder and harder to do that in today's society. Wrong. Oh God, Haas. I can't believe he has such a progressive worldview on gender. That came as a shock to me, and I am thoroughly shocked that he accepts trans ideology like that. Oh boy, oh boy. Spider-Verse is awesome. Screen Beam. Of course, I have a Spider-Verse background wallpaper. Of course. That scene is just amazing. The way they build it up, the way that he's still scared to jump, which is why the glass shatters behind him, because you haven't seen